Go ahead, JD.
Pete, on the, I know obviously you emphasize the guard rebounding, but the ability of James and Robert in particular to rebound, what is it? Just mindset? Is it just tenacity?
It's got to be all of that plus repetition, and that's where we have to be successful. And we've had good guard rebounders here. Yogi was a very good guard rebounder. Vic was fantastic. There's more or less. Jordan would go in there and get defensive boards, because when you're doing a really good job of being physical and blocking out and being engaged with the forwards and things like that down around the basket, I mean, those balls are going to be loose. And there's no reason whatsoever for us not to have 5 guys the majority of the time under the foul line ready to rebound. And so Rob's getting better at it. James is getting better at it and has some natural ability at it. Josh has got to take that up a notch. Curtis had a pretty good week of rebounding the ball, and we have to have a team that has that, no matter what.
Mike.
Right before halftime, Thomas had a hustle play, and you call him over to the bench and give him a chest bump. What was the motivation for giving him?
Just be excited and have energy. He wants to play at a level moving forward where this is an average week, right? And he wants to do it for a decade plus, right? So he was putting too much pressure on himself, not having fun. I mean, and that's when he's at his best, right? Everything's fine. I mean, you're hustling, and sometimes we have too much self-inflicted pressure because the frustration kicks in, and they've had a very long week. And he has been, I would say Juwan and Thomas, I'd put Rob in this category. They have been on point and on attack and on a mission since the middle of the week, a week ago, when it comes to really taking more responsibility for their teammates and setting the tone with their energy every day. So it's hard, right? It's hard to do that every day, but just needed a reminder that it's okay to have some fun. So.
Kind of follow up on the last part of that. Duran said Rob is a guy that sets the tempo and sort of controls the tempo and is important for this team and putting guys in the right spots. How have you seen him grow, I guess, as he's maybe come through the first part of this?
Well, he's definitely growing. I think we've got to continue to have it onward, and I said that to him when he was coming out of the game at the last time. This is a big week to take the next step. This week and next week are huge weeks for improvement, individually and as a team. And at the same time, we structure this week the way that it is because of the academics this week. This is a very, very busy week for them academically, leading into exams. So we want to make sure that they have a good amount of time to get their projects done and all the stuff that they have this week. But at the same time, when we're here, we got to really be locked into the improvement. And he's making improvements without a doubt in all those areas.
Phil?
Is the chest bump a Crean tradition?
That just happened. It was just spontaneous. Let's not make more of it than what it is. So spontaneous.
Terry.
I know that defense is always important, but it seemed like coming out in the second half, you guys really locked into on the defensive end. Did you feel that way as well?
Defensive energy, when individuals have it, it's amazing how well they play on the offensive end. When you have it as a team, it's hard to lose. And we can get a lot better on that. We can get a lot better on the offensive end. I mean, we can get a lot better all the way around. But defensive energy and rebounding tenacity are the keys. And we had a great start to the game. I mean, fantastic start. And then we needed to get our second win back. And we didn't have that. We were solid, but we didn't have that energy that you need to go with it. It's never going to be easy, right? And you don't want it to be easy. That's where that defensive energy sets the pace. So they came back out with that in the second half, and I was excited. I didn't like the first turnover, so we made us up, and we got a little juice, from Curtis coming in that way. But they were really locked in communicating wise. In games like this, one of the things, well, I shouldn't say in games like this, in a week like this where you have these numerous games, sometimes at the end of the week, it's real easy just to go vanilla with the game plan and say, okay, well, we're just going to do this because we're tired. I don't believe in that. I think you've got to give something that really gets them engaged in talking. So we put a couple of things in yesterday and walked through them again this morning that were a little different for us at this. It would have been real smart to press the whole game. It wasn't that type of thing, but a changing of defense that makes them be engaged, makes them more aware and alert, and there's no choice but to talk. And we were doing a really good job of that. We hit a wall, then in the second half we came back much better with it. Alex, I saw.
Duran played well against UNC and then follows it up Friday and then again tonight with strong games. How important for a young player is it to have that, show that type of consistency, I guess, in back-to-back games?
Well, he's getting more and more confident because he's getting in better shape. He's getting more used to it, and I think it's just going to, as long as he can stay healthy and keep the conditioning going the way that he is, it's just going to keep growing. I mean, it really is. I mean, for him, because now we're getting to the point where we can play the two of them together. We had a situation where we'd called a ball screen for Thomas. And then we ran a slip on it, and he got Duran a layup. I mean, that, we can start to get to that. We weren't as good with those two at the beginning of the game. Our numbers were good, but our movement wasn't as good. So the next big thing, along with Duran being able to play those stretches, is to be able to play with Thomas inside of those stretches even better than what they have as we move up the ladder here. But as long as he stays on the pace that he's on and continues to work on his fundamentals the way that he is, and this will be a really good 2 weeks for him, coming up with 2 games in 2 weeks. So very good for him to continue to build on that. We're proud of the week that he had.
What that you've seen from him makes you more comfortable, I guess, maybe now playing him with Thomas than maybe at the beginning of the season?
Oh, I think it's just the obvious that he's getting more used to it, and Thomas can do things away from the basket. We didn't move very well in the first half. When we were getting in the bonus, we just didn't have the movement that we need. And sometimes we became a little too one-sided in the sense of keeping it on one side or trying to get it in on one side. We were concerned about their post double. But what we wanted, we didn't keep the game in movement. So that's not there yet, and that's got to continue to grow for us. The next big step is Duran can really pass the ball, even from away from the rim and away from the block area. But I think it's something we know we're going to need. I think we don't do it a lot in practice just yet. We'll have more time to do it this week. It's going to be a very competitive week. I told him this is not this first 5, second 5 deal at all the next 2 weeks. I mean, we've got to really compete. And there's a lot of room for improvement, and I'm not married to a lineup. So with that being said, we'll see how it goes. But I'm very confident in his attitude, confident in his improvement. I know how much he wants it. He's smart, and he's just getting used to playing college basketball here when he didn't have the summer to prepare for it.
Mike, was it encouraging to play well defensively with OG not on the floor, and can you update us on how he's?
Well, we've got a really good. I can't update you because he's getting better, and so we'll just have to see. He's wearing out that chair, with the chair shooting, but he's got the boot on. He's off the crutches, so it's just a day by day thing, I would imagine now. He couldn't have played today, but he's definitely making progress. So we'll see with that. I don't have a better answer than that right now, but yeah, we've had a really good week defensively, and we've got to continue to build on it. And I mean, to do what we've done on the week, and to do what we did in the Carolina game, and knowing that there's so much more room for improvement for us, when we watch the film or when we see the game, that's a really encouraging thing.
So,
18 turnovers tonight. What do you got to do going forward to clean that up?
Commit less of them. We do. Yeah, we have to commit less of them. We've got to do a better job with the ball, decision making. That's the truth. So.
Tom, when you look at how well you're playing defensively, do you look at how many points you allowed, shooting percentage? What's maybe the number one stat you really look at?
The 3 stops in a row is big. Deflections are up, which is good. But the 3 stops in a row, and I'm not big on the point differential yet. And we will get there, but I haven't focused much on that. It's the percentages. It's the percentages. And then when we get into the film, it's definitely the shot challenges and then the blockouts. And we're trying to spend more and more time making sure that we're getting better and better and better at blocking out the weak side of the board. Carolina forces you to be better at that. So we want to make sure we've really tried to build on that. And we're digging in the post more. We're getting more connected, but it's not there 1 through 10 yet by any stretch. And I think that's where we've got to continue to really make strides the best that we can. And so we've seen enough in this week to know that it can be there. We've seen enough to know that it's not there, And now we've got plenty of opportunities to not only do it on the floor, but to show them from the film and try to combine it that way.
All right.
Anybody else? That it? Okay.
Thanks.